Hi, everybody. Welcome to this special edition Spill the Petals Podcast. This is our pre-Mother's Day edition where we interview several of our friends in the flower industry and get their take of some of the ways that they prepare for the holiday.
Right. And we know everyone's right in the middle of getting ready for this big holiday. It's kind of like one of our Black Fridays for the industry. And we know that you're fast and furious, but we thought it'd be great to reach out to some experts that we know in the industry and just ask what do they do in the last couple of weeks to make sure that they're going to have a successful weekend, which is exactly what we want for everyone.
So we posed a question to them, and the format today is you will see their response to the question, and we'll talk about it.
We'll give you a few more insights wrapped around whatever their response is, and these are all people that we admire. We know that they've got successful businesses, and so we trust what they say is going to be good information to share with you in these last few days as you get ready for Mother's Day.
Let's get started.
Hi, this is Jen with Tillie's Flower Shop in Wichita, Kansas, and we are getting into crunch time at Tillie's for Mother's Day. So we are less than 2 weeks into Mother's Day and it is prep time. So we've already been greening. We just got our big flower truck in today. We found out that we couldn't get some product in. So you really have to be willing to pivot on any product that you can't get in. So be willing to make a change and not dwell on what you can't get. You want to make that change, re-photograph a product, and then get it online. I just use my iPhone and use Canva to clean up the background and then create a new product and pop it online, and you just do a swap of your production. So that's one key thing that we do as we're arriving product into our store.
That's a great response from Jen. One thing that I know about her and her business is that they're highly, highly adaptable. What are your thoughts on florists needing to be highly adaptable in this market?
Well, I mean, I think it's something that we all have to realize. We work in the perishable industry, and so we are dealing with perishable products, and it doesn't always happen the way we plan. Things don't produce what the farm thinks they're going to. So some people get it, some people don't. But being prepared that, number one of the things she said is they've already been greening and getting those things set up so that as these changes do come in with what you've already, you've already put things together. You're going to create this recipe and then now this product's not available. Not a problem. We're just going to change that out. Reshoot. I do like that she said that it's important to reshoot and then change your advertising to make sure that those that are placing orders now will be happy with what they get and know what you've got to provide for them.
And then the thing I wanted to add about Jen is like she had come by she had come down to Jacksonville and visited us maybe a couple of years back, and the interest that the thing that she was very interested in is how to set up a photo studio and how to get that ready so she could take photos like on the spot, and they're high quality photos. So she's become very media savvy. And for those that know Tillie's, check out their webpage. She does a lot of these great selfie videos to provide customers with literally real-time updates of the stuff that they have in stock, if there's any changes of anything on the upcoming calendar. But I think that's one thing that I think you could learn from Jen is the fact that she's become very media savvy.
Well, and that's one of the reasons that we recommend that everyone set up a photo studio in their space that they have to work with, because then you can pivot when something changes and you can snap a photo of now I've got this product rather than this one. Or even if you're right in the middle of getting everything together and you find you bought some extra product maybe or something you didn't plan on. Now it's easy to take a photo of that and drop it on social, because we all know that's the way that we're connecting right now. So I think it just helps to be prepared with what nature and the weather is going to do to us as we move forward towards a holiday.
And just one last bit of insight with her setup, I know, because if you've watched her videos, those are obviously taken with her smartphone. and she's just doing the selfie video. So I'm sure a lot of florists are out there, well, do I need this really nice fancy camera setup? And the answer is no. You really just need your smartphone and a great lighting setup. So great lighting makes for great photography and videos too. So
well, and don't forget about the audio, because
you're correct. Oh yes,
great audio is incredibly important. We have wireless mics on us, because if someone can't hear what you're saying, it's not really much good to them, because they're going to get bored with it, get upset with it, and shut it down. So make sure that your audio and video are good quality, whatever product you're using.
All right, let's proceed to our next guest.
No, actually, we've got another video from Jennifer.
Okay, let's proceed to Jennifer's second video.
For social media and email campaigns, digital marketing, it's not too late to start. We actually started 2 weeks ago. We sent out our first email plan. We always send almost a daily email at different times of the day, that way it hits mailboxes at different times. Social media, make sure you're posting something every single day. Switch it up. Don't always do flowers. You can do a plant. You can do a gift item. That way it gives them a reason to keep watching you. Facebook Lives are huge going all the way into the holiday. It's really a great way to keep your customers updated. You can show them the behind the scenes. Customers love to see behind the scenes. They love giving their opinions about things. Show them the designers working on bouquets. You can show them all the different plants that you have. Show them what's available. Show them, we always bring in different plants this time of year, so show them that this is a great opportunity maybe to get that lavender plant that they can't get the rest of the year.
That is some great advice, and I love the fact that she mentioned doing lives all the way up through and behind the scenes, because I totally agree. People love seeing what's going on in those areas they're not allowed to go in when they come into your shop. So jump in your back room with the phone right in the midst of and I know you're like, I have time to do this. Make time. Because it's going to allow you to engage and connect with those people locally. And when it gets down to that last day, those are the people that you're really counting on. And you want to engage with them. Look at what's going on back here. It's crazy. Come on in. Sort of like those crazy Eddie commercials we used to see all over the place. Get back there and really advertise what you've got available.
You know, there's really nothing much I could add to what she had reported and what you had said. But I think the two things I want to highlight is the fact that when you do kind of those, reveal the back room, like situations, and you're showing your staff in such a raw way, the younger customer just loves that authenticity, because if they were to walk in your store, you're right. I mean, you're not going to show a customer typically, oh, well, go to the back room and see kind of that the messy underbelly of the floral business. But when they see it in a video and, like they see your staff working hard, when they do come in and they do see Jen or they do see that staff member, it's sort of like a bit of an excitement factor where they're like, oh, you were in that video that I saw on YouTube or on Facebook. And then the other thing that I like is the idea where, you're going to, you could show these videos all throughout the holiday and up till the holiday. And it's just, it's great because these holidays break so late, so you have content that you could show these people that, they may be ordering something at the last minute, but you still have the opportunity to engage with them.
Well, and the other thing about being organic and natural, like, in the backroom area where you don't go, when people come in, they feel like they know you because you've been a little bit more personal. And the other thing that she said that I think is important for us to mention is that it's not too late to do those email campaigns, because sometimes it's like poking the bear. You got to keep saying, hey, don't forget, next Sunday is Mother's Day, because we see people reaching out every day on social right now. Hey, what day is Mother's Day? We've known about it for how long? It occurs on the same Sunday of May every year, and people still can't remember. So don't forget that you want to shoot some emails and take care of those people that you already have those connections with, your existing customers that you do know how to contact them. Just reminding you that it's Mother's Day. Don't forget those mothers in your lives that you want to be able to get something for. So take advantage of those good tips as well.
Just to punctuate on that point that you made about they may not necessarily be familiar with the holiday. Let's not assume that people know that Mother's Day is on a Sunday. Why? Because just today, and we're like a few more than a week out. I did a quick search on Google, all the terms that people were using about Mother's Day, and guess what the number one question is? When is Mother's Day? So, great point. So we'll go ahead and proceed to Andie.
Remember, we still have a couple more videos from Jennifer. She was willing to share a lot of information, so we want to take advantage of that.
Okay, let's proceed to a third response from Jen.
Lastly, really watch your point of sale. Use your point of sale to track your quantities of when you're going to run out of product. Keep an eye on that. What you've overproduced, use that to put on your website and merchandise your website. So those things that you still have plenty of that you're not really selling, put those items on your homepage. Everything on your homepage will tend to sell more than somewhere else on your page. So use your website, use your point of sale, use those tools to help you sell what you've already produced or what you've bought for the holiday season.
So very interesting feedback. And I believe what she's basically saying to us is just be super duper aware of what you got and what you could sell on that website, because she's right. The website is your 24/7 store, and that's usually the first place that the customer would look to see what you got available for Mother's Day. So that's wonderful advice.
Well, and it kind of goes to things that when we're shooting products that we have here, if you've got a product that's already your top seller or selling a lot of, maybe don't spend the time focusing on that, because you want to also sell those things that are not selling well.
Right.
So photograph those, get those up there, because you want to move those just as much as the ones that are already selling on their own. And one other thing that Jen says in one more video she prepared for us that we don't have time to add into the program is, remember, pretty sells. And when it comes to the consumer, when they see flowers, people just say, oh my gosh, those are so pretty. So don't get caught up in that it has to be a certain recipe that you had. Maybe you're down to not having everything that you did for that particular recipe, but it still makes a beautiful design, still pretty, still want to get it out there and feature it.
So on that point, there's a sneaky tidbit that a lot of florists have shared with me over the years, is that anything could be a top seller. So even if you know that it doesn't sell well, if you put it on that website and you label it a top seller, guess what? It's a top seller, and that will probably sway a few consumers, or more than a few consumers, to buy that because they think it's a top seller.
Well, we really appreciate Jennifer sharing all of those great tips with us, and taking time as she's getting prepared for a holiday to join us and do these videos and send to us.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Let's move on to what Andie Muller, a friend here in Florida, has to say.
How do we keep organized with the busy holiday times? We keep our staff going with, of course, providing lunch, breakfast, and maybe like a late snack. If we have to work extra hours, we always have like water, Gatorade, coffee, a little bit of chocolate, some healthy food as well. We try to keep us going without any stress. The music keep going in the flower shop all the time. Customers will call and we always answer with a smile on our face. One very good trick is to have a little mirror next to your telephone. And then every time when you answer the telephone, you look at the mirror and you say, "Good morning, thank you for calling the flower studio. May I help you?" So people will notice your voice, and it's totally different if you have a very happy and very professional voice than to pick up the phone and say, "Flower studio, may I help you?" You see, it's a big difference. So I hope this tip will help you guys have a stress-free holiday.
I think this season I'm going to volunteer to work at Andie's shop because I'm going to be well fed and well caffeined up, But that's wonderful. And just from the corporate side, I want to just share a story when a few of us went to visit Google out in California. One thing that we noticed, I think they had a rule for every 5 desks, they had a refrigerator that provided them good and bad snacks. But they also fed all their employees well, where you could have a free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not saying that florists need to do something like that, but there is something to be said about having or providing a meal to keep your folks motivated, hydrated, and well fed. So kudos to Andie for providing that during the holiday. That's amazing.
Well, it's one of those times where we're asking a little bit more from everyone that works with us. And I think it's a great idea that you build that into your budget for the holidays, that you are going to prepare for meals and snacks. And I like the water and Gatorade things because staying hydrated is very, very important for all of us. But that's a way to keep them from having to leave the store and go take their lunch and maybe getting caught in traffic and things like that and then not getting back. You don't want them out wandering around during the holiday period. You want them there helping. So it's a great way to say thank you for putting in the extra effort and doing everything you can to make the holiday great. But the best tip that I love that Andie shared with us was about the mirror next to the phone, because you truly can hear someone smiling on the phone or not. Either way. So I think that's a great idea to have that mirror there, automatically look in it, put that smile on, because it's going to come across when you're crazy busy, you're tired because you've been working a lot extra, you still have lots of time to put in for the holiday, and it's a little easy to just get caught up in all of that and be maybe a little bit more direct and blunt when you answer the phone, and that's going to come across. So I really like that. Thank you so much for sharing that part, Andie.
Yeah. Who do we go to next?
Next, we're going to reach out to Bob Tucker in Leesburg, Florida, for what his tip is. And he's got some great information to share about delivery.
The delivery options I would recommend to other florists to use for the Mother's Day holiday would be DoorDash. For us, we have found it to be a complete game changer. We, on a daily basis, use DoorDash now. We schedule up to 5 deliveries per driver. It is all done through the POS system and billed through BloomNet, which makes it super convenient and easy to work with. The nice part about DoorDash is once we have scheduled a route and set it out for delivery, we have a driver on our doorstep within 5 minutes. And typically, even on a 5-stop drop, our drivers have the orders confirmed within 45 minutes. It's a total game changer. It confirms delivered on our POS system, and the drivers are really good about taking pictures of the deliveries so you have verification of delivery. If there are any issues with DoorDash, contact DoorDash and they will credit the full amount of your order to you. It is a super easy system and way to deliver flowers, super efficient. As I said, it is a total game changer for the deliveries for flowers. Another option I might recommend would be Fluid Trucks. Fluid has a system where they have vans throughout the areas where you are located. They will even stage vans at your location. It's a simple system where you go onto your phone, secure the van by the app. The truck will open up automatically and you have full access to the van for the number of hours that you have requested. The rates range anywhere from $10 to about $12 per hour for the deliveries. So it makes it super cheap, to rent a van using the Fluid Truck system. And if you have the issue then of not having drivers to drive those vans, partner with Apex Recruiting Solutions. They offer on a regular basis a list of drivers, CDL drivers, local delivery drivers that would be available to help out and manage those vans that you have rented from Fluid. So you have multiple options with your deliveries. Fluid is a great system, especially for the larger shops, because they are full-size transit vans that they are renting to you. Again, a whole game changer for the deliveries so that you're not relying completely on your staff or friends and neighbors to come in and deliver for you. You can get a professional team of drivers and, nice clean vans to deliver your product.
I love the fact that Bob shares the information about DoorDash, because a lot of people have been reaching out. DoorDash has gotten heavily involved in delivery for floral products. Well, actually for everything. I know when you go on there and you place an order, you can literally get anything between where you're asking them to come from and to you, and they'll make as many stops as possible. But the great thing that Bob shared with the way DoorDash has been helping him is that when he reaches out to them, they're there within a few minutes. They are ready to pick up. They're experienced because they've been doing it. They're an experienced driver, and it's dedicated. So make sure that you're charging for that direct run to maybe further than where you would normally deliver. A lot of people say it allows them to expand their delivery area because of using DoorDash. You're not tying up your driver that's dedicated to the flower shop. And if he's got 3 or 4 deliveries, they may send 2 or 3 drivers to pick them up and shoot in different directions. And you can't do that with the one driver that you may have. So that's a great option to utilize.
Jackie, that's a great summary of Bob's use of DoorDash, and you also provided some wonderful additions or addendums to that advice. All I could do is just really confirm the one thing that you said about expanding your delivery area. I do a lot of creeping online with all the florist Facebook groups, and that is the one thing that a lot of people do report, that they use DoorDash to kind of fill in the gaps of delivery in their area and expand that delivery zone. So just something to consider. And it does expand your brand, and it puts it on a platform that a lot of young people are using, right? So a lot of people may not necessarily know your brand, but if they're flipping through there and they see flowers as an option that they could buy, they click on it and there you are.
Well, one of the other things that Bob mentioned that I am not real familiar with, but I know that we're partnering with them, is Fluid Truck. And the fact that it is cargo vans that it's sort of like zip cars, where you can rent it by the hour or by the day or by the week. And he was telling me that they're staging one of the vehicles by his flower shop just in case he needs it. And it's like, $10, $12 an hour if you're just doing by the hour, but they're giving him a great rate to have it there for several days just in the event he needs it. And then by utilizing the other program that we partner with, Apex Staffing, you can reach out for a driver. If you need a driver, you've already got the van, reach out and have the driver come over, and they're experienced drivers with Amazon and a lot of other large companies. So you've got several options there for adding delivery, and that's a lot of the headache that people face when it comes to holidays, is how to get everything out in the short amount of time that you've got.
That's right, because as we said, this holiday breaks later and later, so you're going to have many more of those deliveries stacked up at the end of right at the holiday.
Just one more tip I'll give you, and I'll share with you myself that I did when I had flower retail space, was I utilized a lot of firefighters that were on their off time because they're very familiar with the city.
Absolutely.
Many of them loved being able to catch the extra money, and they're not committing to a whole other part-time job in addition to what they already have, but just working for the holidays. And that was a plan that worked out really well for me. You just have to make sure that you've got the insurance worked out, because it's different for every state, and they have to have their own insurance. They're driving their own vehicle, so it's contract labor. So as long as you abide by all the rules in your area, it's possibly something else you can utilize for delivery. Who are we talking to next?
We have Susan Mullis from the Flower Gallery in Valdosta, Georgia. So let's listen to Susan.
Good morning, Jackie and Renata. Thank you for having me on your podcast. To answer your question, to start off with, my staff, they tell me that the money they're going to make at Mother's Day is extra money because they're making, some of them time and a half. And so they take that money and use it for their family vacations. The next thing that I noticed is when we're working late and not long hours like that, I'm constantly thanking them and telling them how much I appreciate them for all their work they're doing. I compliment them continuously, and I'm back there in the back with them, helping them, pulling just as much as they are. And when they see that I'm working just like they are, that makes them want to keep working. So that helps out a lot. Also, like at all other shops just about, I make sure I have plenty of drinks, whatever their drinks are. I get all those and their snacks. And then we also, if we're working a long night or 2 nights, whatever, I make sure I order in food for whatever they're wanting that night. So that helps them kind of keep going and makes them feel good that they don't have to worry about that. And the main thing is teamwork. We all work together as a team. We try to each of us pull as much as we can, and teamwork is the best thing when you're trying to get through a shop holiday. And I'm very blessed to have such a good team with me, and I appreciate y'all having me, and I hope this helps other shops. Thank you.
Wow, that's great, Susan. Now I think I'll make a second stop and work for you after I work with Andie a little bit because you do a great job in feeding your staff as well.
Well, that's like I said, I think that's super important, being able to keep staff in the store when you are having those extra people. You've already got lots of people coming in and out. You don't need the staff getting caught up in traffic or lost. But the other thing that Susan mentioned that I think is super important is saying thank you. Because just saying thank you and recognizing the additional hours, the extra that everyone's putting forward is incredibly important and goes a long way. So don't forget that you want to say thank you to the staff, but you also want to say thank you to yourself. And this is all works into the self-care and how self-care is really important right now. So don't forget, at the end of the day, after you've finished everything,
you treat yourself.
You want to treat yourself to something, and a bubble bath or a martini, if that's what you're into, whatever the case may be. Don't forget to take care of yourself as well.
Not to reveal too much, but I do see a lot of those post-holiday videos also on Facebook of people hanging out in their tubs or having a drink or just doing something a little bit indulgent. But I agree. After a hard-fought holiday, you really deserve it.
Absolutely. Let's move on to our last video that we have, and that is with Pattie Wallandar, a freelance designer that we know very well, and let's hear what she has to say.
Hi, it's Pattie Wallandar here. What do I do to prepare 2 weeks before Mother's Day or a big holiday? Since I primarily freelance, I concentrate on my shoes. I'm constantly changing them throughout the day, 2 or 3 pair at least. I do 16, 18-hour days. I also make sure that my toolbox is fully stocked, loaded, prepped, ready to go. Anything I can need, new knives, tape, anything that a shop I'm going into may not have, I try to make sure I have. Happy holidays.
Well, that's wonderful advice, Pattie. Thank you so much. And it's really important, especially as a freelancer, that you come well equipped when you take on those jobs. Because you can't expect to come into a business and have them, supply all that stuff for you. So wonderful advice there. Thanks, Pattie.
And that helps you be comfortable working in different places, because I freelanced for a number of years, and every time you're in a new space, there's going to be different tools that are used there. And the thing that made me really comfortable is that I carried everything with me. I had it prepared and I kept that separate. And then the other thing that I want to say about freelancing is, remember that you're freelancing for them. So you're bringing your hands, your talent, your knowledge to put to work for someone else. So it's really important to have that relationship where you understand that I'm here to do what you want me to, not so much to do it my way, but to bring your talent to use with the directions that are provided by the owner or the manager that you might be working with. So it's not a time to have your heart on your sleeve. You're there to perform a job, perform a task, and to do it the way they want you to do it. And then the last thing, I could not agree more that Pattie mentioned, is sometimes having 2 or 3 pairs of shoes to change out during the day. Everybody that knows me,
you could definitely relate with that. Yeah.
Everybody that knows me knows that I love shoes and have a lot of them. But the key to standing on your feet for many hours at a time is sometimes changing your shoes, because some might be a little bit more comfortable. Some may have more support that you might need later in the day. Comfort is key when you're standing on your feet. So making sure that you've got that so that you can be comfortable from head to toe with your tools and your toes being comfortable and ready to go for whomever you might be working for.
You know, Jackie, so just going back to that idea of preparedness, you know, so she would come in with her tools, but like as a business owner, and I don't know if you've heard this from peers, but is there, do you guys have a checklist of we need, you know, we have to be sure we have knives, we have to be sure we have, you know, all this other stuff in order to be ready for the holiday? Is that an active process that the shop should be doing, that they should have a checklist of all the things that they would need to be ready for the holiday?
Well, it's something that a lot of people do not do, but I did it in all my shops. And then one of the things I loved when I worked for Dan Fisher at Fitz that he insisted on is that we would share with everyone that we encourage you to do a post-holiday checklist, actually. You're going to develop, and it's going to be different for everyone, so it's hard for me to say use this one or use that one. You want to use whatever helps prepare you. But I would take that checklist and I would go through what sold well, what didn't sell well, what did I do right, what did I do maybe wrong. With marketing, what marketing worked well, what products do I sell a lot of, what was new this year that maybe wasn't new last year, and keep copious notes on how the holiday went. And then you're going to start your holiday preparedness with that list next year. And then that way you've got that list every time to refer back to. And you know what? Don't focus on what didn't go well, because if it didn't go well now, probably not going to go well again. You want to focus on what went right, what did I do right, and start there, as well as look at what did sell, and that's where you start your orders. Make sure maybe you stock up a little bit more on that. And you should do it for not just the big holidays like Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, but for the holiday period in December, because you've got 3 different holidays right there. What went well for each one of them. For your Thanksgiving period, Halloween, proms, and wedding season should have their own checklist as well, because those are great ways to keep you prepared and to keep you running smoothly during every year, not just during a holiday period.
Well, great advice, Jackie. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank our guests again for all the wonderful advice that they provided. Thank you. If you're listening to this podcast, we do have video versions of this that you could find on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@floriologyinstitute.com. We also post this to our Facebook channel, so check out the video version there. Any last words there, Jackie?
No, just our sign off as we do every episode is remember, there's no use crying over spilled petals. We'll see you again next time.